My girl on the line. Hey, hey. I just sent you a request. Oh, my girl. Yay. Look at
Hi.
you. Look at you. Fine
Mess.
wine, baby. How you doing? How's your day been going?
Oh, it's been raining here. You already know, spring and all that stuff. What is it with this?
Girl, it's like amazingly beautiful. I got some Amazon packages. And like for the first time in a week, I went outside. So I was like, oh, okay, let me go out there. And let me tell you, the weather is like beautiful. And I was kind of feeling some type of way because, I just want to like jump in my car and just go riding around. But I took my wheelchair outside the front yard. So
I
at least I
know.
feel like I was doing something. But, I be want to get in my car and just go. And I
I
can't do
know.
that.
I know how I feel.
Yeah.
I know
Hey,
how I feel.
Shonda.
Hey. I know how I
Excited. Okay,
feel.
so all right, I wanted to just get right into this. Like literally before this phone call, there's a lot of stuff going on. So let me get into everything that we want to talk about. So I want to update with you, see where you are. I got a lot of shit to dump off, and then we'll jump right into our topic. So
Yeah.
what's been going on in your world?
Baclofen world.
Hey girl.
I just been pushing through with this Baclofen pump. I think you should explain first. For
Yeah.
those of you who have spasticity, a Baclofen pump is basically a device kind of like the size of your palm, and it's implanted under your skin on top of your fat, so you can't get a liposuction at the moment.
Right.
with a catheter
Your
going all
forever pouch.
with a catheter going all the way back to your spinal cord, and it pumps out medicine 24/7.
Thank
So
you.
it looks like we are 3 months pregnant all the time.
Yes, on one side of our body most of the time. So, yes,
Exactly.
thank you for that. Thank you for that. And so, with the Baclofen pump, um, one thing I do want to mention is that a lot of different type of people qualify for the Baclofen pump, but most often people, like you said, with spasticity, are the ones that get it. It tends to run pretty common in people with multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy,
Yeah.
you know, things like NMO. Those type of conditions I think are pretty consistent with people who get the pump. But really
Yeah.
anybody can get the pump that has problems with spasticity. So
Yeah, I think that you have to go through a trial of like doing the
mhm.
pills, getting the Botox injection, and like through trials and
Yeah,
tribulation before actually deciding to get a pump, because it is a major surgery. And the fact that it's a major surgery, like it's not just, anybody can go get it, but once you qualify, you qualify. I had already qualified after trying the pills. I had, because
yeah.
my body does so bad with pills. I literally got every side effect in the book. I got nauseous, I got drowsy, I got everything. Then we
Yeah.
went on to the Botox, and every time I went and got Botox in my quads, I was like, put some in my face, like, come on.
Yeah.
So
So
then,
really quick, let
the
me
Botox
ask
works
you,
for, yeah.
okay, you tried all the pills. Can you give an example of like the type of pills that you tried? Because I know a lot of people ask me questions about, okay, well,
Yes.
what are they trying to do? Most of it they know is Baclofen, but there are other options.
Yeah, so there is Baclofen, there is tizanidine, there is gabapentin, there is one more. I cannot think of the name right now. Carba something. Um,
Tegretol.
Tegretol. Well, Tegretol and
Yeah.
tizanidine, it's almost the same thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So there's all those, and I really just tried those. I really just tried three.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do it. Like, my stomach isn't taking it. And then from there, I went to the Botox injection. And then from the Botox injection, I was like a slave every 3 months getting this Botox injection. And
Wow.
it sucks because I had to plan like vacations around Botox injection and, whatever it is I
Really?
have going on. Yeah, because it's like once you get a Botox injection, like it'll last 3 months. It'll peak at month and a half, and it'll start wearing
Mm-hmm.
off at peak month and a half. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
technically, it's kind of like a wear on, wear off type of medication,
Mm-hmm.
and it it works. I'm not gonna say it doesn't work. It works. It's not a long term thing.
Right. Right. So it's pretty consistent. You have to keep constantly going back and forth to get the Botox.
And I hated being a slave of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, my doctor was the one that told me, like, you need to get the pump. And I'm like, hell no, I'm not getting the pump. You're crazy.
Right.
Like, that's not normal. Like, my body's not in, like, honestly, the last appointment I went with my husband, and he's the one that was like, just get it. You've already done everything in the book. Just do it. And I'm like, fine. And then the whole time I'm like, y'all don't pay for this liposuction, right? Because if this don't work.
Because your forever pooch ain't going nowhere. It's like, you don't even know what my pooch look like.
Yeah. So then, so the decision was made, but before you actually get the pump, you have to do the trial.
Yeah.
And so I try to be smart, and I was like, oh, let's kill two birds with one stone, and let me get a spinal tap / trial.
Yeah.
So for those of us who for those of us that live with this, or multiple sclerosis, autoimmune, they did a spinal tap, and oh my God, I thought I was gonna die. And at the same time, they did the injection.
Yeah.
Mind you, this was like a student working on me, a resident. But anyways, I'll reserve my comments on that.
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna just speed past that. Go right past that.
So once I got the injection, I felt a flush of heat coming over me. I'm like, holy crap, am I burning up? What is going on? From my waist down. And I was so tight, Shakira, that when I got the injection, then I became so loose that it hurt.
Just like that.
That it hurt so bad. Like, it hurt to be loose. Because I was constantly tight. Yeah, I was so tight. And that when I got the injection, it hurt so bad to be loose. It didn't even hurt. It felt like I just came out of the gym and I was just sore.
Wow. Okay.
So then
from all this fast, because everything's loosening up and now you're feeling it.
Yeah. So I was already feeling pain from the spasticity, and then I then I get loose, and then I feel pain from being tight all that time. So it was horrible, but it was an alleviation at the same time, because I'm like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to actually relax, like to actually not, be able to do that. I was not able to stand up for 24 hours after that. Because, they just put in the injections just to see like how much they're going to give or how much they're going to put, and to see if it really works, which it did.
Right.
So the next day I was able to kind of just stand up and start walking, and then my back, I was having like back pain because of the injection and all that stuff, but it was fine. It went away. So then from there we decided that, it worked, and I'm going to move forward and get the pump. I was nervous as hell. Okay.
I know you was terrified. I was too. Like, I fought the pump for like the longest time. But for you, let me back up, and I want to ask a question. So when they did the trial for you, was it an inpatient or outpatient for you? Because sometimes some people are different. They'll get the trial, they'll go home. For me, I kind of had like, mine was backwards, and we'll get to that. But some people will say that they'll get the trial and then they'll go home.
So I got the trial.
Then some people go stay in the hospital.
Yeah, so I got the trial, and I was told I was going to go home. And I did go home. But because of the fact that I couldn't walk, they didn't want me to go home.
That makes sense.
And I was like, as long as it's going to come out by tomorrow, I'm going to go home. And my husband was like, we're going to go home. And they were like, listen, it'll be a wait. Like, you just have to kind of let it go. And like, it'll take 24 hours to get back to normal. So, they were very like adamant about like, your husband needs to be with you until you can be able to walk. If you can't, you need to come back. So we ended up going home, but they didn't want me to. They wanted me to stay. And I was like,
okay, deuces.
So I ended up going home, and I ended up sleeping it off. And the next day I felt like a little bit better, but I was like, wow, like I can't believe I'm this weak from being so tight. Right.
That's crazy. But you'd be surprised. Like, that's the whole thing with the Baclofen. Once it loosens you up, I mean, it's like a night and day difference on how you feel. You get so used to the spasticity that once you're loose, it's like a whole different feeling now. So, okay, you had that, and that was last year sometime that you had.
That was in November of 2020 that I got the surgery.
Okay. So
So
now,
in the midst of the pandemic,
yes.
where you couldn't get any visitors at the hospital, I got the
Wow.
surgery. So I couldn't get
Mm-hmm.
nobody to help me at the hospital. And they were short-staffed,
Wow.
the whole drama with the pandemic.
Now, after
So
you got the pump put in, how long were you in the hospital? Because I remember that there was a whole, I know you see, now keep in mind, you guys that are on the call, if you go to FabNMO's page, you'll see the journey. If you get caught up to that, I encourage you to do so. She will
yeah,
show you her walking before, her walking after, the journey in the hospital. And there's a lot of different things that are going on, a lot of moving parts, but you had some complications.
yeah. So when I got
Okay.
the Baclofen pump, first day surgery went well. Thankfully, all the installation went well. But then, when I felt like I had to go use the bathroom, I was like, all right, I gotta go use the bathroom. I still wasn't feeling anything because of the anesthesia. I sat
Mm-hmm.
down in the corner of the bed and I felt this, I don't even know how to explain it, this hurricane of pain and like, yeah, this
Hmm.
hurricane of pain coming up. And I got this headache so bad that I
Spinal
instantly,
headache.
yeah, I instantly started crying. I'm like, oh my God. I was screaming.
Oh.
Everybody was like, what's wrong with her? I'm like, oh, put me down. And like my eyes couldn't open. I couldn't like see anything. So they had to lay me back down and literally like, manually cath me because
Okay.
I couldn't get up. And so then it was determined that I had a spinal leak fluid. Due to the catheter being implanted in my spinal cord, and I was just leaking, spinal fluid. So
Yeah.
day 1 passes, I couldn't get out of bed. Day 2 passes, I couldn't get up from bed. I couldn't even get up like 30 degrees off the bed because as soon as I get up 30
Wow.
degrees, I can feel the flush of like the
The
headache and
flush of the
everything, the
headache.
nausea.
Mm-hmm.
Day
And that's
3,
that
day
spinal
4,
fluid.
yeah, the day 4 or day 5, they finally decided to do a blood patch, which is where they take blood and directly
Yeah.
put it into your spinal cord to kind of patch it up.
Right.
And that
To
seemed like
absorb some of
to,
that spinal fluid out. Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
and that seemed to like not work. Like it didn't work. They did it, and I swear to God, while they were doing it, I was like praying because I was in so much pain of just sitting down. I was like, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm getting an epidural. Like, what's going on? And girl, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think I've ever prayed so hard during those times. So then they did the blood patch and it didn't work. It didn't work. I laid back down and this was
Mm-mm.
day 4. Day 5, I couldn't get up. Day 6, I'm finally doing like a little like 20, 30
Mm-hmm.
degree getting up again. Day 7 comes and they're like trying to kick me out of the hospital. And I'm like, I'm not leaving because this is not how I came. Like, y'all better fix me before I leave.
Right. Exactly.
So then day 8 finally sent me to a rehabilitation center. And that's when, bye. So, sorry, my husband so they 8 finally sent me to a rehabilitation center and still I'm not able to walk. Like I was in a stretcher the whole time.
You could
And I'm not,
not get
I
up
couldn't
or
even sit.
move or walk or
I
nothing.
couldn't stay. I couldn't do anything because it was just that spinal fluid. Like I didn't even feel the pain from the actual surgery because the spinal fluid leak was so bad. So I didn't feel
Wow.
the stitches. I didn't feel none of that stuff.
Mm-mm. And let me tell you, if you're not having a spinal headache, I'm gonna tell you that pain is nothing to be played with. But go ahead.
Yeah, no,
It's up.
it was I lost in 8 days, I lost almost 15 pounds.
What?
Because yeah,
Because of that.
because I couldn't get up to eat, because they were
Mm-hmm.
short staffed and nobody really could have helped me, because I couldn't get visitors because it was
It
COVID.
was COVID. Yep.
It was such a
Wow.
traumatic
That's a
experience.
nightmare.
Yeah, I got like a stick. Like
Right.
I was like, this would have been nice if it was for vacation, but this is not a vacation thing.
Right. It's like you want to be like, cute, slim, looking all fine wine, but not like that.
No.
Yeah, I understand.
So
Okay, so
yeah.
well, yeah, go ahead.
No, so yeah, so then I go to the rehab and I don't mean to get so nasty, but your girl hadn't used the bathroom in 8 days either. Like talking about number 2. So finally on that day, they gave me stuff to use the bathroom. I thought I was gonna give birth. I thought I was giving birth. I I thought the pump was gonna come out.
Look,
I was like,
I know that feeling.
I called my mom and I was like, I'm giving
Like,
birth
it's
to
literally
the
a
devil.
mess.
Yeah, no, it was horrible,
That
horrible.
is funny. Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
that's
Well,
why
so
when you were
now,
getting your pump, I was like, take laxatives.
look, when you talk to me, I swear to God, I got my pump, and I'm gonna just go to my story, which is actually very different than yours. I got my pump in June of 2021, so the whole year later, and you knew about the whole thing before I even got the pump. I talked to you about it. So I decided to go ahead and move forward with the pump. And unlike you, I didn't have a trial. I never had a trial. No, they never put it in my bag to
Well,
try to
I
see
feel
if it would
like
work.
your spasticities were hard enough
It
that
was a
you knew.
problem. So if you guys go back to my page and on my TikTok, places like that, you'll see that there is a video of myself and I'm showing what my spasms look like. And they're like serious involuntary jerking. So I don't know how or why that ended up happening to me, but because of that, I got the Baclofen pump. So I did go straight into surgery. They put the pump in, but they did not put the Baclofen in the pump. So the first 2 weeks, it was filled with saline. After that two
Which I
week period,
never got that. Like, why
yeah,
do
me
that?
neither. Well, you know what? Actually, it was because they didn't have the medication in it. It was on order. So because it was on order and it hadn't been received yet, because the surgery was like a quick, fast, and a hurry, right away thing. So she didn't have the medication. So she put the saline in at first. You know, the catheter will be primed correctly, whatever. I don't know where the whole thing was, because she put something in there to kind of help with the pain. And it did help a little bit. So after the 2 weeks, I went back and I got the Baclofen put in the pump. And from that point, a couple days later, I didn't feel anything. So I was like, okay, like, what is going on here? You know, I got the pump in. I'm thinking that it's going to be like right away results. It was not right away results. So just fast forward from that. It took me getting to from June up until about October, I got up to 500 from, it started off at 150 is where she started me off at. She started me
Yeah.
off at 150, and then I got all the way up to 500 in my pump.
But
Basically
your
500
spasticity
milligrams.
was bad though.
Yes, 500 milligrams in my pump. Basically what happening is that in a 24-hour period, you guys, is the medicine is constantly 24/7 running from that pump through the catheter, through to your spine, putting in the medication, and that's what's keeping you going. And it's running 24 hours a day. So you're
Yeah.
getting an injection per day of 500 milligrams. So I got the pump because I was taking Baclofen, I was taking Valium for the spasms. I
That's
was taking all the ones that you mentioned as well. Nothing was working. I ended up going on a high dose of Baclofen pills.
you ended up
Instantly made me,
overdosing yourself too.
it was making me so sick. I couldn't tolerate the pills. But so I, went ahead and moved forward with the pump. And the pump for me, I went in the hospital. I had surgery. I got released the same day. I woke right up from anesthesia, made a video. I was perfectly fine, didn't have any issues. I healed fine in 2 months. I didn't have any issues at all. However, here's where it's kind of funny. Somewhere between getting the pump in October timeframe, where I ended up going to the hospital. At this time, I was going a lot of stuff going on, and I ended up getting a UTI. And it was because my bladder stopped working. You remember I talked to you about that.
Yeah, because you were overdosed, and when you have too much of the
Mhm.
baclofen,
Yep,
it can slow down your muscle of your bladder as long,
exactly,
it slows
exactly.
down. And so when it
And
slows down your bladder, then you have that urine sitting
mhm,
there, not able to void, and boom, you
mhm,
get a UTI.
that's exactly right. And that's one thing that, I'm glad we're trying to talk about this now, because nobody ever said that. The
Yeah.
other thing that
One of the
happened
side,
with me,
I'm sorry, Shakira. One of the
yeah,
side
no, go ahead.
effects that I read about was that if you're too
Hmm.
high, you're gonna have urine problems because you're just
Hmm.
holding on, and then it's more likely you're gonna get a UTI or any other infection.
Yeah.
But
Well,
if you
and
don't
that's what
have
ended
any,
up happening to me.
yeah,
The other thing is, before I ended up in the hospital for that, because it was pretty severe, what happened was it exacerbated my symptoms of NMO. from my previous attack. So all this stuff just came back like a whirlwind. But they also put this medication called Prialt, which is basically it's like 1,000 times stronger than morphine, into my pump because of pain. So even though my spasms were starting to get a little bit controlled, as my spasms were getting controlled, my pain is increasing like a lot. So they put the pain medication in my pump as well. And unfortunately, that pain medication, along with the Baclofen, those two things was just like my body was completely rejecting it, and it was sending me into a massive flare. So once I went into the hospital, they took the Prialt out and then put morphine in my pump. So from October to currently, right now, still to this day, I have the Baclofen and a morphine mix in my pump. Here's the crazy thing. Because of the fact that the morphine is more than likely not agreeing with my body, I got a decrease Monday. I got my pump refilled, but I have gone from, I'm still at the 500 on the Baclofen, but the morphine was at 1.5, and then it went down to 1, and then now I'm down to 0.5. They're gonna keep going down.
Put that in there, because do they mix the liquids? Because I only have Baclofen.
They have different reservoirs apparently. So they have different reservoirs, yes. And I did not know this. And if my doctor told me that you can have like 4 or 5 different medications in there at once. Okay. Oh, so I was like who's doing that? But whatever. It said, have you guys ever noticed? Okay, we'll get to that. Say, hey, listen, Mo, we're going to answer your questions when we're done here, but you are asking some pretty fantastic ones. But let me tell you, they're going to take this morphine out because it's causing too many problems. And I figured out that the inflammation, according to my doctor, that the inflammation that I'm having right now is being provoked by the morphine and possibly the Baclofen.
I think it's
so I'm not sure if anybody else is having that experience, but it is for me that I'm having a problem with.
I can't, the morphine I can't do. So I think it's the morphine more than anything else. But
yeah, possibly so, because it's definitely causing a lot of issues with me. And now, they're going to go ahead and increase it, a slow decrease, because I can't just get off of it right away.
Yeah,
that's
the other thing too.
Your body gets dependent on it. You can't just come off of it. But let's talk about one more thing I want to mention, because I want to kind of dive into where you are now with your pump. So I'm pretty stable. I'm okay. The pump it's been up and down, but mostly good for me because I'm not having the spasms, the involuntary spasms. I'm not having as much pain as I was. So I have had, more good than bad with my experience on the pump. But I do also want to mention that, okay, just brain fog, lost train of thought. Go ahead. Sorry. So I literally was going somewhere with this and I just lost it. So yeah.
No. So my experience with the pump up to now, so I'm a year and a half, basically. In November, I'm going to have 2 years with the pump. And, the beginning was hard because you need to learn how to redo your body with this new medication.
Yeah.
1. And 2, you're overdosed in the beginning because you don't know what it really is that you need or how much you need. So you tend to get overdosed without them knowing what's too much for you. I personally have never passed 40. You're at 500. I've never passed 40. So I've always been a low dose type of person on this pump. And so I've been up and down, and every time I get like an infection or a cold or something or sick, all my symptoms come back. So the pump doesn't work. Unless I go up while I'm sick and then I come down. I don't have the time to be I have an infection. Now I need to go up in the pump. Oh, now I don't have an infection, so now I need to go down.
You want to go down.
Yeah, and the doctors are not always available for that. You kind of have to write it out.
Yeah.
So, within the October to February frame, I've been in and out of the hospital to the point that I had to get plasmapheresis because I had a flare due to an infection. And I just realized that the pump ain't doing nothing for me. It's really not doing, when the pump is supposed to be doing something for you.
Yeah.
At least for me, during those times, it didn't do, And I just felt what was the point of it? On top of the fact that you kind of have to find your number. So you get the pump installed.
You do. And it's a trial and error.
You don't know your exact number. Exactly. It's a trial and error.
Trial and error. You got to go through this whole process. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to go through the whole process of finding what dosage is correct for your body. Like
Right.
Shakira was saying, she's at 500. I've never even passed 40 at all. And right now, I've made the decision to turn it off and see how my body does without it. And I'm going down from 30 to 27, and now I'm at 24. And
Right.
that's the lowest you can be at a concentrated baclofen area. So
Right.
now after 24, they have to dilute the baclofen in order for me to keep going down, because again, we can't just come off of it, because at the end of the day, we're technically little druggies on
Yeah.
these things.
No, right, exactly. We're totally dependent on it. So they're going to come down on your pump. And I need the box. With them coming down on your pump, eventually they're going to work their, they're not going to pull it out at the 24s, or they're going to do like they're going to dilute it and then keep working down.
So what they do is, once you're at 24, which is the lowest that the concentration can go to, they kind of empty your pump out and mix it with saline to dilute it down. So then you can go at like 19, 15, 12, and bring it all the way down to 0. So basically that's what it is. It's basically diluting the medicine down. Gotcha. I'm doing it because I've always been a low dose baclofen pump user. So, you know, I just hated the fact that baclofen pill made you so drowsy. Like, I would literally fall asleep in the kitchen counter while my kids were having dinner.
Literally, I could be in mid conversation with somebody and they'd be sitting there talking to me, and I'm like,
and then you're like,
the whole time, let my head fall. I'm jumping up like, huh? And I'm just like, damn, I can't go out like this, because at the time I was on the pills. I was at work, and I remember one time I was sitting there and I'm taking these pills. I'm like, man, I just can't do it. I can't make it. I had to go into I had went and found me a cot, and I went in the office, closed the door. I was like, listen, I'm on my break. Please do not disturb me. I'm finna go in there and go to sleep. And I went in there and laid on that cot, and I went to sleep. Girl, I was knocked out. When I woke up, I'm like, you know, trying to get myself together. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is this? Yeah. So I just told my doctor, like, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you with this medication.
Shakira, my trainer Bianca, she just hopped on. She saw me before the pump. She trained me before the pump, and she trained with me after the pump.
So the difference. So tell me the difference.
Yeah. So Bianca, who's on here, who's my trainer, who's literally like seen me before and after, she can tell you the difference, and she can tell you that after I got this pump, like, I just have not been the same. It's every month there's a drama. Either I have to go to the hospital, either it's too much, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Bianca, comment there like what you've seen in me before and after the pump, and what you think. I was having this conversation with her too about how I'm gonna like just turn this off and take it off, because it's, for me, I'd rather live with the spasticity that I have to help me live on the wild side.
But you know, the spasticity is a part of you. You can control it. It's predictable. The problem with the pump is that if it's not working for you, it becomes unpredictable. And every time you go up a dose, and then your body gets used to it,
and you get sick,
you got to relearn. You got to relearn everything. Like, I know for me in my journey, and like I'm at 500. This is the longest that I've been at a dosage since I had the pump, and I've been at 500 since October. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe like it's been all this time, because before
you feel like you find your spot almost.
But yes, and I'm happy about that, because it was rough. Like, it was so many times that I just was like, I don't know why I did this. Like, why did I put this in here? You know, because I would get the pump, I would get the increase, and then it would last for a couple of days. Like, well, for one, it takes like hours for it to run through the catheter. Okay, that's the first thing. So once you get an increase, you got to wait like 39 hours before it actually takes effect. Okay, well, once you get that point, then I might only get 4 days out of it. I'd get 4 days out of it, and then boom, I'm right back to square one. I need to increase again. I'm like, shit. Like, I was getting so frustrated.
You know, one of the things that, like, I really haven't spoken about the pump other than my journey to getting it. But then once I got it, I really haven't spoken on it. But one of the things I always tell the pain management doctor is, like, why not offer mental health services for people who are getting this? Because this is a roller coaster.
I agree.
When you get the pump, you are emotionally being like a drag doll, throwing back and forth, back and forth, and
Yeah,
back and forth. Because
that's a
and
good
then
point.
yeah, and they don't like
Mm-hmm.
it tell you like, oh, expect this, expect that. No. And I get it, we're all different. But like, shoot,
Mm-hmm.
tell us a little bit of what to expect so we know how to like take the
Yeah,
information that's about to happen. You
I,
know?
I agree. I do
I
feel like that
also
I feel like that we are 100% briefed on the basics. And then after that, it's more like we kind of have to figure it out. They don't want to really tell us all the side effects, and they don't tell us the mental anguish that we have to go through and what our body is going through, on top of the fact that for us, we're chronically ill. You know, we're dealing with our own shit,
yeah.
life and everything else. And then we're dealing with that part of it too. And this is all an attempt to just be better, or to be
Yeah.
what some might say a little bit normal. And,
And like for
you
me,
know,
for me personally, I've never used the wheelchair. And before the pump, I was
you
driving.
right.
I was going up
Mm-hmm.
and down the stairs, and then once I got the pump, everything just disabled even more. Like now, I use a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I can't. I got a stair lift because I couldn't do stairs. I can't drive, so I had to get my license again to drive with my hand
Mm-hmm.
because ain't nobody stopping and nobody. But
I know that's right. They're like, well, I mean, we're disabled, but that doesn't mean that we can't do things. We just do them differently. And I always say
exactly,
that. I always say that.
exactly.
You should have seen me today, literally going to go get a basket of laundry and bringing it into my closet. But see, I got smart. Okay, I got the basket with the wheels on there, so I just I pull it. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Okay, but
But
so
it's
that's interesting to
funny.
hear how you've had that experience with the pump. It's
Yeah.
and everybody experience is different. So I do want to say that not everyone is going to have the same experience. I have seen a lot of people saying that the pump has saved their life. You know, I'm on the opposite end of that. I'm a person who can say that the pump has helped me. I mean, it's had its problems, but it's either that or I'm in public, you know, jerking around and I can't move and there's nothing that I can do about it. That was just a lot for me. And I did feel like that psychologically, I wasn't in a good place to handle that. I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
continue down that way, you know?
yeah.
So I have these other little minor things that are happening, and they're just easier to
But in
maintain.
overall,
Yeah,
your pump is good for you. I mean, hello, 500. That's a lot of pills if you
it
put it.
is. Right. Because imagine me
So
being on pills for that. That's right. Differently abled. Yeah, we're
you'd be
differently
sleeping all
abled.
day.
Yeah. I'm better now. Like I can go out and I can be in public and I can feel confident that I can sit still and not allude someone to the fact that I'm having a problem. And it was so crazy because I remember waking up from anesthesia and I remember a nurse saying, "Oh, don't worry about that. She has that." Now I'm waking up, so I don't know like who was what. I could just hear her say, "Oh, don't worry about that. She has that sometime. The doctor told us not to worry about that." And it made me think to myself, like, they were probably talking about the spasms. They probably got freaked out because I had just had this surgery put in and I'm jerking all around everywhere. And they're like, okay, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
They're in a panic mode because I'm like laying on this table, convulsing looking like almost. So
Yeah,
I
no,
think it's a good experience for me. Now, I guess I want to ask for you. So you're definitely on the fence of getting the pump out at this time.
well, I'm on my way of lowering the dosage. So
Okay.
again, I went from 30 to 27
Mm-hmm.
to 24 where I'm at now, and I can feel my spasticity ramping up a little bit, but it's all
Mm-hmm.
right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
asking for. I need a little bit of spasticity so I can be able to walk.
Right.
But I also feel myself standing up taller. Like I'm actually
Really?
standing up. Like I'm like, dude, I didn't know I was this tall.
Oh my God. Yay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm like standing up to take a shower now. Like I don't need. Yes, I have a shower chair, but like I
Yeah.
can actually stand up and take a shower. Like and
Wow.
be
And
standing
so
up.
how long has it been since you've been able to do that?
So I mean, I've always kind of done it, but I've always kind of like tilted forward. So like I'd be standing doing like this, my upper
Mm-hmm.
body. Now I'm like this. So I
Nice.
want to see. I want to say like it's been a couple of days, and I think it's because of the lowering of the pump.
Yeah.
Again, I am spastic when I'm sleeping, like my legs are jerking. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd rather take that and some NyQuil over anything else,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm standing up. And
Yes.
so
That's an
I
accomplishment. big time.
Yeah. So I wanna, my next lowering of the dose will be like in another week. Just because this week I have the Samara Foundation Gala that I'm gonna be going to, so I don't want to
Yeah,
mess
I'm so
with the pump.
excited.
I don't want to mess with the pump too much this week, just
Yeah.
so I can be able
Right.
to
Yeah,
take
to do what
that.
you need to
But
do. That's gonna be
yeah.
really awesome, and I cannot freaking wait. I don't want to tell anybody. I want it to be surprised, but I just want like people to see it on social media. But it's gonna be so amazing. You guys have no idea the fancy smancy stuff we got going on this weekend. I mean, I'm not gonna be there, but Aldelly's representing for me. Thank you. Oh, I can't wait.
Excited.
So, okay, all right. Well, that's good. I know but for me, I am going to continue my journey with my pump. That is definitely going to be my path. I know for you it's like completely night and day and different. So I don't think that I'm going to increase my dosage. Sorry, my husband is talking to me when I'm busy. He was talking to me. So I am going to continue at the 500. I'm going to stay there for as long as I possibly can. I don't want to decrease. I don't want to increase. I'm okay with that. Like I'm starting to get a little bit of spasticity in my right calf. And I don't really know why or where it's coming from. I just had IVI treatment and it just seems kind of like it's pretty aggressive now since that. But
it's because of the changes that your body's going
I'm gonna just wait it out. That's why I don't really want to do anything with it. But I am starting to have like some slight bit of spasticity. And, you know, this past week I've had like a little bit of jerking, but that's not enough for me to really want to change my pump because it's, you know, that whole journey, like you said, going through the increases, it ain't for me. Like, I swear, it's not. I hated it so much. Like, I'm so happy that I've been able to coast at this dosage. But if I go up more than 500, I don't feel like I'm going to be comfortable at all. I think it's too high. It's already high enough for me.
Yeah. I also feel like weather plays a part in this spasticity.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. I mean, it's been a little rainy here, so that might be like the problem, but
yeah. But I feel like when winter comes here and it's snowing, I need to increase it. And when I feel like when it's the summer, I need to decrease it.
So you're not going to take the pump out. You're going to leave it in at the lowest dose almost.
For now, I'm not going to take it out, but I'm going to go as low as I can go. And if I can go as low as turning it off, then I will. But I was like, when we take this pump off, can we get a lipo? Since, you know, we already did the lesson there.
Right, girl. They need to have that on deck when it comes to the pump.
But you know, that's just me messing with them. My doctors think I'm a joke sometimes.
That is honestly, too funny.
Because it's a major surgery, I don't plan on taking it out just yet. I just plan on kind of just taking it out, like turning it down, turning it off, and see what happens. If I can last a couple of months, you know, with it off, and hey, I'm gonna take it off.
Stick with it. Yep.
One of our fellow animal warriors, Will from Brazil, has the pump and has been having it turned off for years now.
Yes, and I know who you're talking about, and I really would be curious about his experiences without it. I know he looks fantastic for one.
He was in a wheelchair.
Fantastic. He looks fit, you know.
Yeah.
But he was in the wheelchair.
He was in the wheelchair, and then he got the pump. And after he got the pump, he started doing better. So the pump did him well because he was able to, you know, self-motivate himself. Yeah. So that's another thing. You have to be able to self-motivate yourself to build up the muscles and the strength that you need to get back to where you need to get to. And he was able to go back to dancing. He was able to do choreography, get back to yoga.
Yeah, he looks amazing.
And so he was actually one of the first people I reached out to when I was thinking about getting the pump, because I had no clue what that was, and I didn't know nobody who had that.
Yeah, I mean, if it weren't for you, I'd have been like in the dark. I mean, you suggested for me. I do want to mention on here today that it was suggested that there is a page if you are considering getting the pump that, you know, you talked to me about a Facebook page and the importance of the online community. I'm telling you, it's just top notch. But it helped a lot seeing people kind of talk about it, and no one's telling you to do anything on the page, but they are giving you information that you can make an assessment for yourself and figure out what direction that you want to take. And so from
Yeah.
there, I chose to get the pump, obviously, from just from the page and from the
Yeah.
information you gave me.
Yeah. It's very helpful and very judgment free, which is what I like.
And I really do love that as well. So it's just got a lot of information on there. I actually really like the fact too that there are doctors from the makers of Flowonics and Medtronics, which are the two companies, organizations that are the manufacturers of the pump. And there's representatives on.
My pain management doctor's on there. I won't say his name, but I'm always throwing
Really?
shit. I'm always throwing shit at him. I'm like, boy, you saw what
funny.
I was like, well, you saw what I put on Facebook.
Well, good for him. Good for him for wanting to be involved. I tell you, we need to have more and more medical professionals like get on these pages, because I'm telling you, like, it's a lot of information. But I mean, so okay, we got about 20 minutes left. What I want to talk about is kind of give me a brief overview. Like, I know you said that you've been back and forth to the hospital, you got all this stuff going on. So in the next couple months, kind of like, what do you, without telling too much information, kind of what you have going on in the works?
So, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I just been working a lot, blogging a lot. I've been focusing on my Spanish speaking community.
Yeah.
Just because I really want to get the word out to my Spanish speaking communities. There's a lot of people. Once I dropped it's about the articles dropped in the Dominican. I got
amazing, by the way.
Thank
Kudos,
you.
Hats off to you. That was outstanding. I think it blew up big time. I shared, other people shared, it was shared all over the place. And so I always talk about leaving people out. That's like really a big thing to me. And so I'm happy and grateful for you that you are a Spanish speaking person and can reach out to the community of people that are like completely being skipped over.
Yeah, no, thank you. And so I was reached out from a lot of different organizations out there, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll be taking more vacations.
Maybe so. Well, that's good to hear. And I'm so glad. Like I said, I always will tell people hands down, like, I am so grateful for you, because when I first got sick, like, I'm gonna talk about the importance of a mentor, because man, I will be lost if but you took a shot and shoot your shot, like, hey girl, like, I got NMO too, what's up? Like, you was just like, no shame. I'm like, holy shit. Now this is what I'm talking.
It's because I wish that's what I had when I was diagnosed.
And you did that though, like, and now that's kind of, that resonates with me, and I hope that it resonates with the community, because it's not that many of us, first of all, and we just need to stick together. But I'll tell you, I'm grateful for that, because had you not done that, I think I just would have been lost. Like, I'm the type of person where I'm pretty structured for the most part, but I really can get all over the place real fast. So it kind of helped me, like, oh, okay.
Stay focused.
Yeah, it did. It helped me stay focused to figure out exactly like what I needed to do. And I'm happy too, because I kind of think about, like, when I first got sick, how that was, that learning to advocate for myself, it made a difference. Even now, like this past weekend going into the ER, like, I literally went in there and refused to go home until they gave me steroids, refused to go home until they gave me saline. And now, I'm on steroids from a flare, but I demanded those things. Exactly. And I thought about it, like, if I would have never said that or asked about that.
Yeah, because you don't know. And because on top of that, you're not knowing, like, the community that we're involved in, like, we all speak to each other. And again, it's one of those things that when you got diagnosed, and that's how you got diagnosed, I reached out because I wish I had somebody to reach out to me when I was diagnosed, or to hold my hand and be like, oh, do this, do that. And then finally, when I'm on my way of being this learning patient advocate, now people want to reach out and be like, hey. And I'm like, you know what? I've already got embarrassed in front of doctors with things I don't even know I was saying.
Yeah,
like, I don't even care at this point.
Same here. So I'm like, damn, now it's like, okay, everybody wants to, oh, well, what can we do to help? It's like, where was you at last year when I called you and reached out to you? The fuck, don't call my phone now. So,
oh my God. All right, so we got a lot of comments here that
we do. So
I
want to talk about, we do have lots of comments. Thank you guys all for joining us, but this is Q&A time. So questions, comments, anything of concern that you guys want to talk about.
I don't think I can roll. No, I can't roll.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Hi, gorgeous gal. You see. So let me find some questions on here. Someone says the Bay Bayou Classy one. I'm not sure. Okay. This is the most beautiful live I've seen in a while. What holiday is it? Oh, it's Sexy Bad Bitch
Animal
Holiday.
wearing this
Wait,
month.
Sexy Bad Bitch Holiday. Yes, honey. Why are y'all so gorgeous? Oh, we woke up like this. Duh. So, okay. All right. Yeah. Boldly blending out. You guys are not following her page. Please do so. She's advocating the hell out of the NMO.
Yo, her plasma
Let me
treatment.
tell you, honey.
She's like, I'm like, oh my God, that reminds me when I went through it. Oh my God.
Yes. I'm like, look, that's me. That's me. I'm sitting in my, you kind of sit and watch a movie and it's live stats or you eat your popcorn. I feel it in that moment,
Yeah.
But yes, she was there. She saw the journey, and we are definitely truly pain warriors. Let me tell you, NMO pain, you and I both know it is not a normal pain.
No.
So have you guys noticed any medications that make your spasms worse? I noticed with this hospital stay that antibiotics make them crazy for me. That's a good question.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm gonna say yes. I have noticed some medications make my spasms worse. I can't tell you which medications.
I noticed. Yeah, I know. Percocets make me worse. I can't do Percocets.
And I have Percocets, and that's what they give me to take. And I've been had them for like a year now.
You said morphine. I've noticed in me that makes me out of whack.
Really, yeah.
But then again, like I feel like I'm a baby with medication. Like I do low doses and I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So
that's funny. I would say for me, I can't really pinpoint specific, but I have had some problems. Any type of narcotics don't seem to do anything for me. If I'm flaring, nothing at all makes anything better. Yeah. It always so actually when I'm flaring, anything that's not a narcotic or a steroid or maybe something meant for like spasms or stuff like that, that actually is better for me than for someone to give me a narcotic. This I went into the hospital in October and they literally overdosed me. They were pumping me with fentanyl, morphine. Yeah, it was just too much. And so I was slurring my words for several days actually after I left the hospital with him. It was a complete disaster. So yes, Mo, I definitely noticed that we definitely have problems with medications. And I would say that most people that have NMO may say something different. Then again, they may say, yes, they do notice it. So I guess it really depends. And I would say that's probably the same for most chronic illnesses. Let's see here. What medication are we? Okay, in the beginning, we all really dealt with your spasticity. Yes, Aldelly, we were there with you. After the pump, we saw the progression. Yes, we did.
Oh, that's Bianca?
Yes. Yes,
that's
Bianca.
Yes, my trainer.
Yes, and thank you for commenting this because everybody, I mean, the world literally saw the digression.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hated that because that surgery is not a little surgery.
No, it's not. That's why I said, can I get a lipo at the same time? Because we might as well do the whole thing because you're going to make me look pregnant. Might as well make me look curvy and pregnant.
So hi, so Rockin' Valley, Dana here. Hi, Dana, how are you? Nice to see you again. And it was hard in the beginning, yes, and you've made many friends because of this disease, and so have we. So I'm very grateful for the community. I'm grateful for the people and the connections that I have. I know that you are, I am, we're all, I mean, it's like one big happy family. The family that I never knew I had. I found a lot of people have been diagnosed since I found a lot more people, yes, have been diagnosed since, and there's a lot more information available. I agree.
Oh my God, yeah. When I googled the diagnosis, when I first got diagnosed, it said I was gonna live up to like 5 years.
Yes, the same thing I saw.
And now you Google NMO and we come up. All of us who I googled NMO the other day just because I wanted to see like, you know, what I was going through. And FabNMO came up and I was like, what? What?
That's so funny. Just be like, you're like, oh, Aldelly, who are you? Google me, bitch. Just Google me.
Don't Google too much, but Google. Yeah.
So funny. So, okay, so I didn't find these groups for several months. Yes, same thing. I didn't either. I didn't really think to look for the groups either. That was kind of my own fault. It was scary and lonely at first, and it absolutely was. Now, when I got first when I first got sick, it did take me a minute before I jumped onto the social media and started getting into the group. But it was because I actually couldn't see. So it wasn't that I lost my vision. I had double vision. And the double vision was so bad that I wasn't able to like compact one solid thing into one. Everything
Yeah.
was like split off. It was here and then it was there, split off that far apart. So it's like I couldn't actually see to get onto any of that. And I waited until my vision calmed down before I actually jumped onto the social media aspect of it. Okay. And so, oh, thank you. We appreciate it. We look great. I was diagnosed in 2010. Crazy Beautiful. Are you following us? Tell me. Okay. So yes. Well, I'm kind of surprised, like no more question, but I think that it's crystal clear. We got everything pretty much out there. Overall, the Baclofen pump, I'm going to say, in my opinion, everybody individual has to make their own decision about whether it's going to be a good fit for them. Bottom line, the trial is the first step, like you said. Oh, started today. Oh, thank you. Yay. Yeah, the trial is the first step. So let me ask you this question before we kind of conclude this call. If a person were to consider getting the Baclofen pump, what doctor would be best for them to see?
Pain management doctor. Wait, hold on. Skeletal pain management doctor. Skeletal and muscular pain management doctor.
Gotcha.
Because they're the ones who kind of decide, okay, if your lesion is a certain place, where should we place the actual catheter from the pump and how much should you give and all that stuff. So definitely pain, skeletal management. I can't even say this. It's so long.
Gotcha. So so a pain doctor. So if you're seeing a pain doctor, and obviously they're going to work with you, because this is definitely not going to be something that a pain doctor is going to just right off bat just do. They're going to try, like you said, all the standard drugs in the book before they even get to the point of doing a trial. So I want to also mention that we didn't talk about that after you get the Baclofen pump installed. Please, you guys, Aldelly has on her page. Go to her page, and if you want to kind of see like how it looks after you get it, and like you said, it's a little hockey puck. She's even got a picture. If you check her story out, it's there as well. She'll show what it looks like in your body. If there's something that you're considering, I encourage you to go to her page, look at the, the scar. It's a cute little dainty scar, no biggie. Looks, it looks fine, heals perfectly. And then you can
I wear a bikini with it. I really don't care at this
Be looking
point.
like fine wine, baby. Okay, you hear me? You can't even tell the difference. And that's the thing of it. Is like your life is not stopped. As long as it's working for you, your life isn't stopped. But I also want to mention that when you get the surgery, so for those that might be thinking about it, they'll do that little small incision. There are two size hockey pucks. We always call them hockey pucks, but they're not hockey pucks, but they're two size pumps. Yeah. You got the biggest one.
No, I got the small one.
You got the small one. So do I. I have the small one too.
Yeah.
So there's
Will from Brazil got the big one. He has
and it comes like you can see it. It's like big. It's like 40, and then the big one is 60.
Huge. It's huge. I mean, you can, depending on your body type too, is how you can see it. But like I got the small one, and I definitely.
It's like you're so tiny though. It's like you're like that big, and the pump is just like, oh, here I am.
yeah, exactly. And also depending how you dress yourself, if you're covering it up, if you don't.
Yeah.
But a lot of people worry about what it looks like, and honestly, I'm always covering it up. Yeah. And when I decide not to cover it up, I'm like, yeah, I got a pump. What's
the big deal? Yeah. I mean, and you wear it well, like obviously it's not like it's a huge eyesore. And I always think about that, like, oh, I was so worried about how it would look after I got it, but I'm not too concerned. The benefits
you get from it, honestly, I don't even care.
I don't, and I really do not. But it is like, what is a couple hour surgery?
Yes.
With an 8-week recovery.
Yeah.
So you talked about the spinal headache. And I want to mention that after you get out, they tell you this whole thing, oh, lay flat on your back. Don't get up and move around too much. It works for some people. But if you're, I'm going to say that if you're hypersensitive to stuff, you're going to get a spinal headache.
I thought,
Doesn't
yeah,
make
I think that's just me too. I just
yeah,
was like, I got everything in the books. I was
yeah.
dying, but
And see, and you have these experiences and you can talk about them. So, and I'm glad that we're able to have this conversation now, because so many people ask and so many people want to know, like, what is it? If you get a spinal headache, okay, then what happens? And then what do they do to try to treat it? So it's all good to talk about these things, because
yeah,
we
yeah.
are on that group, but that group is a private group. If you're not in that group and you're thinking
Then you're
about getting,
never gonna get the
you're never
information.
gonna know, right? You're never gonna get the information. So with the 8-week turnaround, I personally took the entire 8 weeks to heal.
Yeah. And
Like
I
my
took more
back.
than that. I took more than that. And I'm still like, oh,
Bless you, ladies, for sharing. Oh, you are so welcome. Drug View. Hi.
thank you.
Yay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys for
Yeah.
joining us.
And
So,
let me just say that I got the pump in the midst of COVID, like the
I don't
pandemic when
know.
the school shut down, and I had a kindergartner in school in
Oh,
my house.
Delly.
So I was like recovering from the pump, the like A, B, C, D, E, F. So like
Trying to
if I
do like
didn't
deal
being
with
a
that.
teacher, so if I didn't being a pandemic teacher, like, you know.
Oh, that is so tough. Like people don't understand. Like this pandemic for us being immunocompromised is not funny. I just had some people come into my house today to replace my, my phone. My husband, he dropped his phone and it got ran over by a car. So had to deal with that. Okay. Well, they got, they came in to replace the phone and they come strolling in here and I'm like, where's your mask?
Yeah, well, nobody's
They're
wearing it nowadays
they're
either.
not, but they're wearing it in my house. So they had to go back. I was like, we can take our ass up out of here and go put a mask on. But I was really nice about it. I just told them, I was like, hey, I'm immunocompromised. Can you put a mask on? Totally
Yeah.
fine. They were so sweet. And they went on, put the mask on and came back in. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just the
No,
pandemic alone
but
itself, having to go through this, it is a lot.
it is. It is. But I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
pump does work. The pump
It is.
works,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. You just
Yeah.
have to know your body. Obviously, I'm like super sensitive. You obviously have a higher dose than me and you needed it, but you just have to know your body and just really talk to your doctor and see like, okay, how much can I do in pills and this before getting to the pump? Because it's a major surgery.
Yeah.
It's a major surgery, and if you don't have help, you're gonna go through it.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, if you do, this will be up. I am going to be posting this on my YouTube. I'm also going to repost this on Instagram as well. So any questions, comments, concerns, please put them in the comments and we'll get right back to you guys. But if you aren't following myself, please do so. And please make sure you follow FabNMO and check out her journey with the Baclofen pump. That is definitely something that you're interested in doing. And also, stay tuned for some new spicy fancy stuff that we got in the works, and I'm not going to tell you, just gotta stay tuned.
Talking about spicy, just got my nails done for it too.
Oh girl, hold on, let me see. Yes.
I can't do long nails.
Oh my
So.
god, I literally cannot wait, and I swear to God, I'm gonna be sitting there on the edge of my seat waiting for a FaceTime. So
All right, well, have a great night, everybody.
all right, talk to you soon. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.